Good afternoon, everyone, to my fellow cadets and to our instructor, Mr. Ardines. Right now, I am going to tackle about the global city. So, when you hear the global city, what is the first idea that will come up to your mind? Any idea? If you have, please raise your right hand or comment down below. So, what is the structure or view of a global city? So the next slide, we will see a city that full of big buildings, anywhere, everywhere. So this picture is the example of a global city. So, what is the meaning of global city? So, the global city, it is a urban center that enjoys significant competitive advantages. And then it also serves as a hub within a globalized economic system. So, so when we say it is an urban center, so that city must have it must have capable that city must have a kapasidad nga hold or butangan sila og mga buildings nga na connectivity or na po siya connectivity or maka-connect siya sa any part of the globe. So sentro ni siya nga nadira ang tanang mga dagko nga building nga mga business. So that's an urban center. An urban center that connect to global city. The global city as an urban center. So it is also served as a hub within a globalized. So when we say serves as a hub, so same as the urban center, that specific place must have the capability to hold the big businesses. Excuse me. So, ang kanang nga term nga global city, it it's opposed to mega city. So, mega city is opposed to have been first coined by Saskia Sassin in reference to London, New York, and Tokyo in her 1991 work, The Global City. So first yun, ang kuan ni Saskia Sassin kay ang kanang nga term nga global city or mega city kay nag-refer gyud na siya sa London, New York ug Tokyo kay sa atong makita no, ang London and New York is a place that have many tall buildings and they are so productive. So, according to Saskia Sassin, ang yung gi-refer sa yung reference terminology sa global city or mega city is kanang mga place nga taas.
So this is the
Hello, everyone, especially sir. Good afternoon. So today, by the way, my name is Engine Cadet James Christopher de la Serna. So today I will be reporting about characteristics of global city. So as you can see on the pictures on the screen, I guess you are familiar with the one on the right one that has a tower with it. So that is Paris, Eiffel Tower. Below is New York, which is also a global city, and then the other one, I believe it's in Hong Kong. So yeah. So today we will be talking the necessary characteristics of a global city. All right. So global cities, an introduction. So these are the necessary characteristics of a global city. So first will be cultural. So cultural. So that is one of the characteristics of global city. Under cultural, there is multicultural and multi-community in the West. First name familiarity. World-renowned cultural institutions such as museums, universities, and etc. Um, Global spectacle events, lively cultural scene such as traditional and creative class. Media power, which is BBC, ABC, CNN, and etc. Also, New York City Times Square. It is a newspaper publisher there in New York. It's like the same in Cebu, Sunstar Cebu. So yeah, it's the same. So right, let's go with first name familiarity. When you say first name familiarity, it's very obvious that you know familiar with the first name. So let's just say if we're going to talk about New York, we have an idea already that it is in the United States without without talking about or without talking about United States. Let's just say New York. This is New York. I guess everyone knows where is New York, right? So that's how first name familiarity works. So to be popular as an economic leading city without explaining why, namely New York, Los Angeles, Paris, London, and Tokyo are commonly referred without needing of specify their country. So let's just say Tokyo. Yeah, it's already in Japan. It's in Japan. Already have an idea that it's in Japan. So that is first name familiarity. Next will be world renowned cultural institutions. So as you can see on the picture, this is a very popular stadium or a concert ground in New York, which is Madison Square Garden. So world-renowned cultural institution, renowned establishing cultural institutions such as a notable museums and galleries, notable opera and ballet theater, orchestra and music concert halls, film, festival, and carnivals. So the same. It's also the same with the one in Sydney. I forgot the name of the establishment, which is a very popular establishment. The one beside the Bay. I'm not sure the name, but yeah, it's one of it. And media power. So BBC, Reuters, ABC, CNN, and etc. So several influential outlets with international reach, such as BBC, Thomson, Reuters, the New York Times. Uh, I'm not sure how to read this, but Agence France Presse (AFP), which is a popular news in popular news broadcast team in France. I guess we're familiar with CNN, BBC, Reuters. I'm not sure with it, but anyway, lively. Next will be lively cultural scene. So as you can see in the picture, it's FIFA. So it's a football association. It's a very popular sports, especially in Europe. So strong sporting communities, including major sport facilities, home team in major league sports, ability and historical experience to host international sports events such as an Olympic game, FIFA World Cup, Grand Slam tennis events, and so forth. So um, for FIFA though, with the example that we have for FIFA, it's not really common in the US, but mostly in Europe, especially France. They usually host a FIFA World Cup event there. In the United States, in the US, it's more likely for basketball and the American football games. So they are known with it. Let's just say New York Knicks, which is a one of the uh, one of the popular names in basketball league in the US. One team. Next will be infrastructural characteristics. So let's just say infrastructural. So more on structure of the skyscrapers and everything. First will be international airport, international port, advanced communications hub, advanced multimodal transport, health facilities, and prominent skylines and skyscrapers. So advanced multimodal transport in other countries, especially with the global city countries like such as Paris, New York, Tokyo, they have an advanced transportation system that includes several highways and or a large mass transit network offering multiple modes of transportation, a rapid transit, light rail, regional rail, ferry, or bus. So, as you can see in the picture, it's not a common train. This is not an ordinary train. You will find this in Paris, in Tokyo. This is a bullet train. This this bullet train is very fast. Not like our train here in the Philippines. It's no, it's still fast, but this is much faster though. Times three or two times four faster than our regular train here in the Philippines. So that's how advanced their transportation there in the global cities. Extensive and popular mass transit system, prominent rail usage, road vehicle usage, and major seaports. International Airport. If you can see here in the picture, this is one of the famous airports in the world, which is the John F. Kennedy International Airport, and you will find this in New York. So a major international airport that has a role for transit hub for several international airlines to its significant passenger traffic, international passengers traffic, and cargo movements. So advanced communications hub. So as you can see there, 911. It's very advanced. It is common in the US. An advanced communications infrastructure on which modern transitional corporations rely on, such as fiber optics, Wi-Fi telecommunications service, and other high-speed lines of communication. Um, as you can see, let's just say another example would be the internet. If you will be going to the big cities, which is a global cities like Tokyo, New York, Paris, their Wi-Fi speed is very high. Not like here, when you say they can reach up to a gigabyte per second, that's how fast their internet um, on that global cities. 911, Philippines is already adopting, but the Philippines is already adopting 911, but not that functional yet. Not like the big cities because it's really common that they will be using this, especially with emergencies. Next, after the infrastructural, let's talk about the political characteristics of a global city. So there is active influence in global events such as United Nations in New York City. It's much larger population, of course. Um, so yeah, active influence in global events. So active in influence and participation in international events and world affairs, example Beijing, Berlin, London, Moscow, New Delhi, Paris, Tokyo, and Washington are capitals of influential nation. Hosting an international organization such as the World Bank, NATO, and the United Nations. So as you can see on the picture, it is one of the meetings held in Paris with regards to the United Nations meeting. So that's they they will host an event such as the United Nations meetings on one of the global cities such as Tokyo and Paris, London and Moscow. All right, so large population. So a larger proper population of the municipality, the center of a metropolitan area, typically several million or agglomeration. It is also a diverse demographic constituencies based on the various indicators, population, habitat, mobility, and urbanization, and also the quality of life standards or city development. Next will be the one of next will be next of the necessary characteristics will be the economic side. So global cities are part of the Fortune 500. They also have stock markets, TNC corporate headquarters, financial services, producer services, innovation patents. Also serves as the corporate headquarters sites for multinational corporation, international financial institutions, law firms, conglomerates, and stock exchange that influence the world economy. contribute the significant financial capacity of output to the city's regions or even nation's GDP, global domestic product. How's the major stock market indices market capitalization? So yeah, how's major stock markets? For example, in New York, if you have seen the movie The Wolf of Fifth Street or Sixth Street, it was filmed, and the actor was Leonardo DiCaprio. It talks about how stock market works and also how how what do you call this, how crucial, or not crucial, but how crazy people works in the stock market. It's really a good movie. If you have time, you can watch it. Um, Moving forward, though, continuation, we provide a variety of international financial services, notably in finance, insurance, and real estate sectors, fire economy, banking, accountancy, and marketing. Appear near the top of cost living lists and have significant agglomerations of personal wealth, example in the number of billionaires residing within the city. So there's a lot of billionaires who wants to live in New York or wants to live in Paris, uh, or Los Angeles. Let's just say Los Angeles is one of the global cities in the United States. There's a lot of celebrities living, especially in Beverly Hills, Los Angeles. So yeah, that's one of the example of economic characteristics of a global city. So I believe that's it for my report right now. I hope you understand a little bit. Um, I mean, not a little bit, but you understand a lot. So next will be my team report mate, or my group mate, that will be reporting about global cities. Thank you.
Good day, sir. Good day to each and everyone. My name is Engine Cadet Louis A. Toledo. I will be reporting about the questions about what are the challenges of global cities with the COVID-19 pandemic. So I have identified identified only the major challenges. So first challenges that I have identified is the travel ban. So with the surge of COVID-19 pandemic, most of the global cities has a hard time to mitigate the abundance of challenges that arises, such as issues related to the urban mobility and transportation of goods and or foreign exchange of item to another cities due to the travel ban. So ang gina-focus ari kay ang mga goods o mga delivery kay dili ma-transport sa laing-laing lugar, dili madali-dali ma-transport man gani, pero most of the time ma-delay jud siya og deliver because sa travel ban dili man pwede, need pa ka mo-comply sa mga requirements nga gipangayo sa DOH or sa government. Dapat jud i-follow para ma-avoid ang pag-spread sa COVID-19. So sa kanisad nga challenge kay gamay ra sad ang makagawas-gawas tungod sa pag-implement sa GCQ, MGCQ o ECQ. So ang pasabot ani limited ra jud ang makagawas sa balay. I think 21 years old and above, but ang mga citizens dili na jud sila pwede kagawas kay mas una man sila mas dali man sila takdan sa COVID-19 kay mga kasagaran sa mga 60 plus tang edad kay dali ra matakdan sa COVID-19 kay hina naman ang ilang ang ilang immune system. So this is one of the biggest challenges of the global cities. Kung naatay paliton sa market, so dapat na need pakagyopas nya, di sad pwede ang mga bata suguon para mopalit sa kanang mga palaliton. Unya daghan sad ang magutom kay delay man ang pag-deliver sa mga goods, sa mga pagkaon, kay usually ang ubang mga goods kay nagikan pa sa laing lugar o sa laing bansa, so madelay jud siya tanan, dali ra jud mahurot ang mga, kung naman ganay maabot nga mga goods, mahurot ra dayon kay daghan mag-hoarding. Kung mas pabor sa mga rich people, they can buy the goods kay sila kapalit ba. Kung pobre ka, mas loy ka kay dili ka kapamundo, lahi ka jud kung najud kay money nga imuha, kay dili kay ka maapektuhan sa kaning challenges. Pero most of the people in global cities had experienced this travel ban. So next, the down of economic status. So because of the business are closing as per mandate of the government for common good, so as to not easily spread the coronavirus from one person to another. So mato no ganiha kung gingon nga limited ra ang kagawa sa balay. So usa pod apektuhan nani ang mga businesses, nag-close ang mga business, mga infrastructure, kay tungod kay limited na lang ang mga tao nya. Ang uban nga business kay dili makapasar sa DOH, dili nila makaya i-follow ang health and proper protocol. Daghan kayo na apektuhan nga business. So ang kaning mga business kay usabe ani nakatabang sa atong economic status sa atong government, kay dagko sad ba kayo sila tax magihatag. So madown jud sa atong economic status during the COVID-19. So daghan jud kayo maapektuhan. So dili lang kay ang government, so ang mga tao sad kay mawad-an ang katrabaho sa kana ang empleyado sa kana nga business, kay dili sad maka-duty. So affected sa ilang pamilya, samot nakapobre. So dili tanan maka dili jud maayo ang pagkalat sa virus sa atong bansa. Daghan jud kayo naapektuhan, daghan ang pobre. Ang pobre ni samot ka pobre. Ang dato kay mas okay ra ang life, kay na sila kapalit unsay ganahan nila, kay na mas sila kwarta. Basta ang pobre mapobre jud samot, wala pay trabaho niya, wala pay kapalit o mga palaliton, mga ganahan nila paliton, mga importante sa pagkaon, maghuwatag sa taon sa mga ayuda sa gobyerno ug kanus ang maabot. So next challenges is the down of tourism industry. Most of the global cities are now for beautiful tourist attractions, but due to COVID-19, those spots are causing the down of tourism. So ato ni siya ang example lang kay ang Cebu City. So as we all know nga ang Cebu City gi-allow na ni Governor Gwen nga makasod na ang tourism sa Cebu City or sa Cebu province. So hopefully makabawi na ang tourism industry, and open na sad ang mga beaches, ang mga tourist spots. So during the COVID-19, daghan jud kayo na down jud ang tourism industry, especially sa Cebu City, kay usa ni siya sa naghatag og dako nga income kani ang tourism industry. Ako kani siya ang natabang sa gobyerno, kay ang Cebu City or Cebu province kay daghan jud siya kasaroyan ba, daghan kayo sa mga maka-attract sa mga foreigner, sa mga tourism. So the last one that I have identified as the challenges of global cities. So the last one is the price rise. So when we say price rise, na nagtaas ang mga palaliton, ang mga needs, wants sa people, sa mga tao nga dili ka afford, dili na lang sad ka afford, dili na dyan sila kapalit, kay nag-increase na, mahal na ganin, na-increase pa dyan samot kay COVID. Like ang mga fare sa mga bus, sa mga van, sa mga pang travel, kay nitaas sad ang plite. So samot ang mga tao nga na-stranded, samot kung di ka uli, kay na-stranded na lang sa hantod, kay nitaas ang mga pamasahe, dili sa kadali og uli niya. Ang mga palaliton ni samot kataas. So usa ni siya sa mga challenges sa global cities. So as you all know that when we say global cities, it is the important cities of the country. They have the more richer than other cities. We have the high technology, influence to other countries. They have tried to compare to challenge another cities. Mas taas po sila standard sa ilang the way they live. So mao na tong ingon nga global cities. So I think, sir, that could be all, sir. Thank you, sir.
Nasa kita na that is kanang telepon man na siya. Nanay mga mga number. Urban Dictionary definition: because of the technological advance, according to Makluhan, wherever you are, we are in one community through the internet. Example, FB, Messenger, WhatsApp. Kinsa nagamit og WhatsApp nga ri? Isang kamot. So parehata nagamit ko WhatsApp kay nindot sad siya nindot man sad ang Messenger. So global village is seeing the world as a single community. The world is connected through the use of technology such as the internet. Examples including Skype, Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, and also dating websites such as RSVP. This allows to keep contact people, mga loved ones nato nga nasa gawas. Ako nasa Gigson nga nasa gawas na siya karon sa Hong Kong. Pero minsan siya mag-update unsa oras nga to. One of example na ay gipakita diha nga conversation sa duha ka person. Si guy 1 nagsulti nga, I met this hot chick. So si guy 2 nitubag nga, yeah, how? So on the net niya na si guy 2 nga, well, that's a global village for you. See, when you chat with another from the other country, that's a global village. That's a community. That's a one community. These are the example of social media where we can connect and interact with each other. Ways in which individuals and communities experience and live in a global context. Write a list of the ways experience and they live in a global context. Natay Flickr diha, Facebook, YouTube, natay myspace.com, wala pa gani diha si Messenger no kay that time is unsa pa nauso diha. I guess 2010 man siguro ni siya nga updated picture nya. Uban pa ang social media wala na apil diha. Ang karon na natay Instagram, Twitter, Messenger, mo na pinaka mas gigamit karon, no? Mga celebrity like ni Sir Ardinis, celebrity. So this is the effect of abusing the use of social media. Laliman ka 8 to 18 years old in the US spend 1/4 of their media time using multiple medias. Grabe ang atong atong mata ana karon gani naglisod mo ganita nga online nabaguhan ta ba bisag nagsige na tag Facebook scrolling kay pawasa laay nya 24% of 12 to 18 years old use another media most of the time while watching TV. Kung imagine lang nimo nagkuan ka nagcellphone ka nya nagtan-aw kog TV. So grabe multitasking kay imong mata, imong nahuna. So you cannot serve one message at a time, two messages at a time. Natang twist. These are the positive impact and negative impact of a global village. Positive aspect of the global village such as tolerance, acceptance, understanding, and compassion. And the negative aspect of the global villages are such uncertain social expectation, isolation, control, and manipulation. So, right to privacy. Tyler Clementi was an American student at Rutgers University, jumped to his death from the bridge at the age of 18 tungod sa video nga nakatag. So daghanan ang tabo nga rin sa ato labi na sa Cebu, no? Nya nga to pagid sa kanang bitang mahibawaan sa lain nga naa day moy live streaming kanang mga video. So that is one of the effects of using of media. The flip side is the different attitude people may have towards technology and media within the global village. The left side is a victim of wireless technology, and the right side is a fresh conversation towards someone who can go beyond with the media use. I agree. How and what ways living in a global village may influence the ways we communicate, engage, and interact. So by texting of message. So as you can see in the image where you can see the message, OMG, did you see? So ang iyang text bitaw kay is not normal way of getting conversation. So kanang sa tunga kanang naay kanang puti nga picture is kanang sige siya pang-add og friends bitaw. Ana siya nga I am trying to add more friends sa social media. Pero daghan kay siya mga kaila di sa kuan. Kita ka sa tapad na si dagang mga kuan friends nagsigtan-aw niya pero did man siya kay gusto niya sa social media pero man na siya sa effect no. Mana siya gitawag og kanang negative impact ba kay naay kanang kuan kanang isolation. Siya ang example sa isolation. I guess that's all for my report, sir. Thank you. I'm Johnny Casali.
So good day everyone. I'm Jasper Jess Hintalian, enrolled in Socio 101, respectively in the advisory of Sir Ardinis, and today I'll be talking about some examples of global city. But before that, I want to recap a little bit about the question: what is a global city? So global cities are places which take advantage of globalization. So these places have taken the best out of globalization. They have benefited a lot on globalization because they have cultivated what they can get from globalization, and they are the successful real winners of globalization. So this terminology, global city, was first coined presumably by Saskia Sassen in the reference of his work The Global City, London, New York, and Tokyo in 1991. So that was global city. Global cities are the real winners of globalization. So let's focus closely on what are some examples of global city. So I'll be presenting two institutes that has analyzed data from time to time in order to include the rankings and categories of these global cities. So the first institute is the GCI, or the Global City Index. So they assess these cities based upon 5 dimensions. First is the business, the place, business activities, human capital, information exchange, the cultural experience, and the political activities and engagement of that place. And these factors are the key determinants of a city's ability to attract talented human capital, generate economic growth, increase competitiveness, and ensure stability and security not only in the present but also in the long run, which is very important. So in the next slide, we will see the top 30 cities in the Global City Index. A major noticeable shift of the top rankings. I'm referring to the top 5 rankings in the Global City Index is the shift of Beijing outbeating Hong Kong from its long-held top 5 position, which could prove to be a sign that there would be more further changes to come, especially today that we are affected in the pandemic of COVID-19, and this would shaken up the top 5 if not they are secure if they wouldn't secure their economic growth. So that would upset or change or have major shift in the top rankings. But we will see after 2021 classification or rankings will be posted. So today will be I'll be giving you only from 2015 to 2020 rankings or history of rankings. So while Beijing's strong economic growth and human capital investment paid off, the political chaos in Hong Kong led to dampen their performance. So what made Hong Kong lose the 5th position in the rankings was their political chaos, and so Beijing jumped high from the 9th place from 2015 to 2019 into the 5th position in 2020 because of their strong economic growth and human capital investment. So let's title this discussion 4 out of 5 stay steady at the top. So I'm referring this to New York City, London, Paris, and Tokyo, which are the most leading global cities in history. So as you can see, in 2015 to 2020, the most leading cities are New York, London, Paris, Tokyo. So the most leading or the highest scorer in the ranking is New York City. It has widened its lead over other cities on the index, receiving its highest score in human capital. So this is due to their strong performance in the number of international schools. So they have many infrastructure that promote international schools, which lead to a more number of international student population, and the new medical university metric. So these factors led to a strong performance in in the category of human capital, which made them the leading cities in the global in the ranking of global cities. So this is it. In the second place, we have London. Has had a fleeting score in the index since 2017. So in 2016, they had gained the number one position, but lost this position in 2017 because of a political issue of the drop off of economic activity, also predicted after the Brexit vote. So they had faced an economic activity drop off, but still they have maintained the position of the second position in the ranking. They still have become stable from 2017 to 2020, having the second position. Then the next in line is Paris. Paris has a consistent performance in information exchange, in which it leads the ranking. So these metrics will be discussed more in the next slide. So cultural experience, political engagement, that ensured the city's solid hold on the number 3 position this year. So from 2015 to 2020, Paris held the third position of the ranking. So it's a long run third position, and they had maintained this because of their lead ranking in the information exchange and good performance on their cultural experience and political activities and engagement. The next or the fourth in position to this ranking is Tokyo. So Tokyo continued its slow but steady improvement on the index. So that's very important here. Slow but steady. Demonstrating strong year-on-year performance in the business activity dimension. It's very understandable, because Tokyo is the busiest street in the world. They have many businesses held in streets, so it's very understandable that they demonstrate a strong year-on-year performance on the business activity dimension. But the aftermath of the Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's exit from the government remains to be seen, because it might cause a change in their status on this political issue. So it remains to be seen in Tokyo, as it may affect their ranking in the global cities index. And lastly, in the top 5, the new in position, Beijing, which has higher scores across most metrics, and it ranks second in business activity dimension, particularly thanks to the number 2 spot on the new unicorn companies metric. So they have good active business activities, which gave them the upper hand on most of the metrics. Investment in education, so this is very important. Investment in education is very important because you're like upgrading your people in the place, like let's say in the New York City. So they have good education because they want to upgrade their people to be capable to help in their economic growth. So education, investing in education is very important. And in Beijing's city rising status as a cultural center, so cultural experience has been rising topic in Beijing also led to a large jump, which also led to a large jump in human capital dimension. So that reflects how Beijing, from the ninth position, jumped over to the fifth position and became a part of the top rankings of the global cities. So in a more closer look of the dimensions, in the business activity by metric, we have Fortune 500 Beijing, top global services firms, you can find it in London. Capital markets, you can find it in New York. Air freight, it's very common in Hong Kong. There are many air transactions there in Hong Kong. Sea freight, we could find it in Shanghai. So sea activities is very popular in Shanghai. ICCA conferences in Paris. Unicorn companies in San Francisco. Also, there are San Francisco has great big headquarters of big companies there, such as Google, Facebook, also Amazon. They base there in San Francisco, specifically in Silicon Valley. In the dimension of human capital, biometric, we have foreign-born population in New York, so they have a high foreign-born population there. Since New York is a ball of multinational individuals. Top universities you can find there in Boston. Population with tertiary degree, Tokyo. So this means that in Tokyo, at least their population has a tertiary degree. International student population, we can find it in Sydney. So we can also this is very what do you call obvious, because we can find many advertisement about going to Sydney for international universities. So this is common for them to have a high percentage in the international student population. Then number of international schools, we can find them in Hong Kong. Medical universities in London. In the dimension of information exchange, biometric, access to TV news, we have Munich, Düsseldorf, Frankfurt, Berlin. News agency bureaus, we can find it in London, New York. Broadband subscribers, we have in Geneva and Zurich. Freedom of expression, we can find it in Oslo. A high percentage in online presence, Singapore. So it's very common. If you have applications such as Bigo, Snapchat, also I don't know if Omegle, but Singapore's presence, online presence, is very popular. Also in Facebook, Singaporeans are very active in online presence. Then cultural experience in biometric, we have museums, Moscow. So it's very Moscow is very popular regarding with museums. Vienna, visual and performing arts. Vienna, it's very popular. If you want to go to a place that's very popular with visual and performing arts, you should go to Vienna. Sporting events, Los Angeles, LA. International travelers, London. Culinary offerings, Paris. So Paris is very popular also in culinary. Sister cities, St. Petersburg. By dimension of political engagement in metrics, we have embassies and consulates, Brussels, think tanks, Washington DC, international organizations. We have there in Geneva. There are many international organizations that based there in Geneva. Political conference, many in Brussels. Local institutions with global reach, Paris. So Paris is very influential, of course. So that would be all in the Global City Index, and those are examples, great examples of global cities by ranking of and the metrics of Global City Index. So the second institute that I'll be sharing to you with is the GAWC City Classification. So this is the globalization and world city classification. So this institute is different from GCI because GCI use a ranking system. GAWC use a categorical system. They have sorted categories of alpha worldwide, beta world cities, gamma world cities, and high sufficiency and sufficiency presence. So the next slide you will see those categories. So in the alpha category, which is alpha level cities are linked to major economic states and regions and into the world economy and are classified into 4 sections: alpha plus plus, alpha plus, and alpha and alpha minus cities. So these are the link to major economic. So these are the major economy, but still more it's still more categorized. All of these, as you can see in the presentation, all of these belongs to the alpha cities, but there are subcategories of this, which is the alpha plus plus, alpha, and the alpha minus. All of these cities contributes to a major economic states. So in the alpha plus plus, which are cities most integrated with global economy, so the key word here is the most integrated. So it's London and New York, which is we can reflect to the GCI, which the number 1 ranking is New York, followed by London. Then the alpha plus cities are highly integrated cities filling advanced service needs. So it's their contribution is below the most integrated, but still they have an highly integrated cities. So the cities here is Beijing, Dubai. It's very if we only hear the word Dubai, we can already imagine the good infrastructure, the wealth we can see in Dubai. It's very imaginable just in the word, just hearing the word Dubai. Hong Kong, also Hong Kong, Paris, Shanghai, Singapore, and Tokyo. So just hearing the word of these cities, these countries, we can already imagine, because these are famous, these are very these are the most top cities also all over the world. The next is in the alpha category. So we have Amsterdam, Brussels, Chicago, Frankfurt, Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur, Los Angeles, Madrid, Mexico City, and so on. In alpha minus, it's the least, it could be the least integrated cities in the category of alpha. We have Bangkok, Bangalore, Boston, Buenos Aires, Dublin, Guangzhou, Istanbul, Johannesburg, Lisbon, Luxembourg City, Manila. So Manila is part of the alpha minus. So at least we are in the alpha category. So Melbourne, Montreal, Munich, New Delhi, Prague, and San Francisco, and so on. In the next category, beta. So beta level cities are cities that link moderate. So alpha has a major economic states. Beta has a moderate economic regions to the world economy and are classified in the sections beta plus, beta, and beta minus cities. So it's the same category, but it belongs, these countries or cities belong to the beta classification. So in the beta plus, we have Atlanta, Auckland, Barcelona. We have here Miami, Rome, Dusseldorf, Cairo, Copenhagen, and etc. In the beta category, we have Abu Dhabi, Athens, Cape Town, Denver. We have here Oslo, Panama City, Seattle. So they belong to the beta category, a beta section of the beta category. And beta minus, So we have here Austin, Almaty. We have here Geneva, Jeddah, Jenan, San Diego, San Jose, San Salvador. We also have Tampa, Tunis, Nicosia, Kuwait. Kuwait is part of Beta Minus, and etc. So the next classification is in Gamma. So Gamma level cities are cities that link smaller economic regions. So Alpha have the highest economic state. Beta has moderate. Gamma has a smaller economic regions, which are classified in three sections: Gamma plus, Gamma minus cities. So in the Gamma plus, we have the most noticeable city. We have Orlando. We have Orlando, San Jose, St. Louis, Baco. We have Baltimore, Hefe, Islamabad, and etc. In the Gamma section, we have Bristol, Colombo, La Paz, Managua, Santo Domingo, Wellington, Dakar, Durban, etc. In the Gamma minus, we have Kansas City, Salt Lake City, Sacramento, Cleveland. So Cleveland belongs to Gamma minus. Malaga, Penang, Harare, Harbin. We also have Edmonton in Canada, Taiwan in China, Maputo, and etc. So the fourth category or classification is belongs to sufficiency, and it has a category of high sufficiency and sufficiency cities. So in high sufficiency, we have cities such as Brasilia, Leeds, Puebla, Ningbo, Macau belongs to high sufficiency. I can't imagine why Macau is in high sufficiency, because Macau is also a popular city, but we don't know because there are various metrics in this. So that's why what I'm telling you, there are different metrics, criterions, and if it should be balanced, you must be good at all metrics to be part of a higher category in the global city. So we also have Port of Spain. We have Yerevan, Ulaanbaatar, Johor Bahru, Indianapolis, so and etc. In sufficiency level, we have Omaha, Suva, and Kobe, Kochi, Kyoto. We have also Graz, Aarhus, Basel, Bergen, Bern, Linz, and so on. So there are many in the globalization and world cities. They have categorized these world cities based upon alpha level, beta level, we have gamma level, and in this efficiency level. So this is a more classified. They have a wide range of criterions, and it's a wide range of classification. It's different from the GWI, the GCI Global Cities Index. It's very different because GCI use a ranking classification, and this in the GDAWC they use a category. So but still the leading the noticeable leading cities here is London, New York, Tokyo, the Beijing, and also Paris. So that's the most noticeable global cities in the world. So that would be all for my part, as I'm giving examples of these global cities. Thank you for listening.